Hello, active and attractive. How are you guys feeling today? Welcome to another Thursday live here inside of our private Facebook community where we are talking about what it looks like to create healthy patterns and rhythms for you as a female leader. I'd love to hear if you are here live. Let me know that you're here. And if you are watching the replay, I love seeing you guys on the replay afterwards. Even when you hashtag replay, I'm like, ooh, I wonder what they're thinking. I wonder what they're picking up here. So I just want to thank you guys for being so present in this community. I just know we're only getting started. It's been about 7 to 8 months of us consistently going live each week. And every single week, we bring another layer to a big conversation we're having around what does it look like to create health in your leadership? Health in your leadership. Not just health in your body, although your body does require a healthy mindset and healthy actions in order to create a healthy body. Health in your leadership, it looks like also having healthy practices, healthy patterns, healthy ways in how you go about taking action. Making sure that you're honoring yourself in the process, knowing who you are and what it is that you want, knowing how to show up and be visible, understanding and valuing your gifts so much that you're willing to take care of yourself. We also want you to feel like you can be visible, show your face, show your gifts, show your essence, show your light, shine everywhere you stand because it's valuable. And when you can show up and speak your mind and share your message and let people know what you're thinking and where you've been and what you've seen, bringing this to the forefront allows people to know what you stand for. And when they know what you stand for, they could also see where you're going. Being consistent in your message is what we really want. And this is the theme of what we've been talking about the last month is how can we find patterns of being consistent, whether it's in your actions around your body or in your actions on showing up regularly on social media. Consistency is the same no matter what, but the theme is that you need to feel willing to be visible. Your visibility is ultimately a thing that allows you to know, all right, I'm here. And it also lets other people know, all right, I'm here. So valuing yourself is the foundation of knowing that you are going to be willing to be visible. And when you're visible, your gifts can reach the people they're meant to reach. Your ideas, your innovation, your solutions, your problem solving, your skill sets, everything that you have been working so hard to develop in yourself, and those things that you deeply desire to give to other people, all of that can be given when you feel ready to be visible. So consistency is the engine. I want you to think of this as like an engine. It's an engine to propel your consistent message out there. When you have consistency, you can get your message in front of many people. And when you have consistency, you can show up every single place you go and trust that your message will say what it needs to say exactly to who it needs to go to. Consistency is a reliance on self. It's a love of yourself. It's knowing that you're valuable. And when you know what your message is and you know what it's meant to do on the earth, finding consistency in this is just, it's untouchable. That's when you've reached a level of leadership that you can't turn back after you're willing to be visible and consistent with your message. So, what I want to talk about is the kind of training theme around how do we train ourselves up into being consistent? Because a lot of us wish that we were consistent. We want to be consistent. Let me know if this is you. You want to be consistent. You know you have the gift of consistency, and you might even feel like you might even be able to see that in other areas of your life, you're very consistent. You're consistent with your friendships. You're consistent with your family. You always put on a happy face. You take care of, your home, and you check your emails regularly. If someone calls, you answer. There are things in our lives that I'm sure you would relate to being consistent with, meaning that you're trustworthy. You're reliable in certain areas of your life. And this is a big important thing to note because when you feel consistent in something, another word to think of it as is I trust that I will follow through on this. What we want is that you feel consistent in all areas of your life. You feel consistent in all the areas that you imagine. Rosemary, hi. We want that you feel consistent in all areas of your life, whether it's the way that you eat, whether it's drinking enough water, whether it's going to bed and sleeping well, whether it's showing up on social media, sharing your message, putting a sales product out there, consistently networking with groups. It doesn't matter what it is. We want to build you into being consistent in the things that you're not yet consistent in. So when we're looking at how can we get you to be consistent, we want to pay attention to the fact that there is a feeling that comes along with being consistent. And this feeling is a thing that we want to be aware of, because this is the thing that keeps you attached to the habit that you're wanting to build. And it's what keeps you coming back for more. So a lot of us just want to push ourselves into being consistent. Let me know if this is you. I used to live in a place where it's like, I wish I could be consistent. I want to go to the gym regularly. I want to show up on social media regularly. I want to post consistently. I know I could do better than this. And it would always lead me to a feeling of deep guilt, a lot of shame. It's this feeling of like, I know this is what I want, but I can't get myself there. That feeling is the exact opposite of how true consistency feels. And unfortunately, that thought pattern is what keeps us away from returning to consistency, even when it's something that we really, really want. The feeling of consistency is trust. Trustworthiness. I know that I'm going to follow through on this. I know that I'm going to do it. The feeling of consistency is honor. I know why I'm going to show up for this, because when I show up for this, this is the value and greatness that it brings. The feeling of consistency is love. When I do this, I feel this. I connect in with myself deeper. I feel more rooted in my relationships. I feel more deeply connected with myself. I love the way that I feel when I take this action. Consistency is so much more than willpower, although willpower helps in the beginning. What keeps you coming back for consistency over and over and over again is not willpower, though. The feeling of consistency is pride. The feeling of consistency is pride. Now, most people, when they hear the word pride, they're like, I don't know about that. I don't know if I'm allowed to be proud. I need to not brag. I need to be humble. I need to not share what I've done for myself. I need to not be prideful. Prideful is a sin. Well, I want to shake things up for you today, because that right there is the number one reason I don't think very good women end up finding themselves in a consistent space. Pride, when reworded, when redefined, pride has so much power. And I want to talk to you today about the themes of pride, and you get to see where this lands for you. I want to see if you give yourself a time to be proud of what you are and what you've accomplished and what you've done, because if you have not, I can guarantee you your mind and your physiology is not going to want to do the task again, because you didn't give yourself time to lean into this feeling. So let me know first, what is your relationship with pride? I want you to comment down below and share with me, where does pride sit in your chest? Do you feel like you have pride? Do you feel like you have too much pride? Do you feel like you don't have any pride at all? Do you even know what that means to you? What does the word pride mean to you? How do you define it? I want to hear your take on that first. And let me go into the group, make sure everything is good here. As you type, share with me, where does pride come in? Hello, Rosemary. I see your comment here, friend. Let me pull up the comments because they're not showing up on my... There we go. Yes. So share with me, what does pride mean to you? I can tell you first and foremost, I grew up in the church. So pride was immediately this really negative thought, like this really negative belief, because if anybody were to be prideful, it would not be me. Pride is not a word that I'm allowed to have, because it's not a feeling I'm allowed to feel, because that just is selfish. It's just selfish. When I think of prideful, I'd almost think of this like large male with his chest out, boastfully talking about all the great things he's accomplished. Bragging, 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 not leaving any room for anyone else to talk, only flaunting and sharing about himself. And I really just associated pride with selfishness, narcissistic tendencies, self-obsession. I really see pride as this thing that if you are proud, Kath, hello, I haven't seen you in a minute, friend. I'm so happy you're here. Pride is a feeling that used to be for me just like this egotistical belief that if I felt pride, I'm already shoving someone else down. If I value myself, if I see beauty in myself, if I see honor in myself, if I see something great within myself and I'm proud of that, God forbid I notice the great characteristic, but if I actually acknowledge it, now all of a sudden I'm just a terrible, terrible person. The problem with this belief system is that when I don't see myself as valuable, if I don't acknowledge the effort, the gifting, the value, the life, the love, the light, the intentionality, the grace that I bring to a table, and I do something that might be valuable to the people around me, and I don't give myself any acknowledgement around it. What it feels like to me, and I didn't see this at the time, but what it felt like to me after a while was I'm putting all of this effort out there and I'm looking to receive validation. I'm looking to receive gratitude from other people. I'm not allowed to give myself an accolade. I'm not allowed to celebrate myself. I'm not allowed to admit something great about who I am, what I do, and what I've been designed to I've been put on this earth for. I'm not allowed to acknowledge that. But if I do, then I'm a bad person. If I do, I'm narcissistic. If I congratulate myself for my gift, I'm being selfish, because in acknowledging myself, I'm making someone else small. Tell me if you relate to this, if this has been you at any point in your journey. When I acknowledge my greatness, it means that I'm putting someone else's greatness down. This tends to be the trend with how most people see being proud of themselves as. Now, what's ironic is when you think of ourselves as little kids and we learn how to tie our shoe, or we finally burped for the first time, or we pooped in the toilet for the first time, or we finally went to bed on our own for the first time, what do our parents say? Oh my God, I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. You did it. When you finally put something in the pantry, or you clean something up in your home and you turn around and you say, Mom, look at what I did. We shout for other people to validate and share with us how proud they are and what we've done. The power in this is that pride is still being tossed around in the equation. It's also accepted. It's acknowledged. It's a term of endearment. It's an acknowledgement of success. It's love. When we did something great as children, we would get a pat on the back. We would be told that we're proud of. The problem with this is that this also meant that we needed someone else to share with us that we're great. And that proud can only come from others. I know for me, and this is many people, when it comes to working at being more consistent as a leader, we do a really, really good job when many people are celebrating us. We do a good job when people are hyping us up. We do a good job. Hello, Susie. We do a good job when people are speaking our name. We're doing a good job when people say, hey, I'm proud of that post you wrote. When we do a good job when people show up to the Facebook Live. We do a good job when other people are there. But what happens when no one else is there? What happens when you're doing something for you? What happens when you're growing your greatness in silence? What happens when you're leaning on yourself so that you don't need external validation? How do you get that human need of success, that human need of approval? Where does that come from? Pride is not a negative thing. Pride is the feeling of acknowledging, I see you. I see what you're doing. I see why you're doing it. I see the value. I see your growth. I see your expansion. I see your effort. I see you. But pride is saying, I'm proud that you took the effort, that you went above and beyond and made this happen, no matter what things looked like. That's what our parents meant when they were celebrating us as little ones. Why would it be so bad for us to give ourselves the same celebration? The feeling of, I see you. I see what you are doing. I see what you are working through. I see what you want. I see how you're longing for this. I see what you desire. I see where you're going. I see why you're choosing this. I see you. I see you standing up when you want to fall. I see you showing up when you don't want to. I see you fighting against the odds. And for that, I am proud of you. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of your commitment to the vision. I'm so proud of you desiring to give your gifts to people. I'm so proud of you for having discipline and showing up for yourself so that you can be a better steward for the world. I see you. I see you. Good job. Pride for ourselves is a mechanism of approval. And when people say that we don't need to take action for approval, I don't believe that sentence is fully complete. Approval is acknowledgement that we're going in a direction that's pleasing for us, that feels right to our spirit, that feels aligned to our calling. Approval is, I'm right off on this. I'm stepping into agreement with this. Approval is that stamp on the envelope or that notary stamp that says, I witnessed this, I agree with this, and I'm going to document this as true. When we give ourselves approval, the pride is the celebration. The pride is the feeling of, oh my God, I did it. I did it. I did it. I did it. Oh my God, I did it. I did it. I did it. I'm so proud of myself. I'm so proud of myself. Not just to be proud of myself. I'm proud because I can see where I've gone from point A to point B. I'm proud of myself because I know what I want and I'm slowly closing the gap from where I am to what I want. I'm proud of myself because I know these feelings that I'm feeling are so difficult to overcome, yet I'm still pursuing the vision that God has given me. I'm still showing up. I'm proud of that. 5 years ago, I wouldn't have been able to push this far, and look at where I stand. 5 years ago, I wouldn't have been able to listen to this voice, and I'm following it no matter what other people are saying, and look at me go. The feeling of pride is this feeling of acknowledgement. The feeling of pride is a portal into your next level. I want to share with you a concept today I call the portal of pride. And this was the last step for me to finally feel confident in celebrating myself and acknowledging myself and loving myself and doing it for myself first, and then being willing to share with others what I've accomplished, what I'm proud of, what I'm doing. Why? Because I have vision. I know where I'm going. And when I feel this way, that means the vision that God's giving me is going to come to life, because I'm in agreement. I have approved that despite my circumstances, I will be heading this way. There's celebration in that. The portal of pride is something that I'm going to share this inside of the group. Let me find this chart, because I'm going to see if I can drop this link into, I guess you won't be able to see it while we're on the live together, but afterwards I'll send it to you. So there's something called, it's called something different, but I want you to think in line of frequencies, shame, guilt, joy, anger, fear, enlightenment, peace, joy, love, the spectrum of our emotions. I saw this chart one time and I was like, whoa, this is so wild, because what it was showcasing is all of our different emotions are measured by various frequencies. And in the science world, there are people that are coordinating the frequencies, so the wavelengths of different emotions, and showcasing where this theme of low vibration and high vibration come from. Low vibrations would be the lower emotions that we feel, like guilt, shame, grief, apathy, anger, fear, desire, but that type of desire that's like the lack desire, like I wish I had it, that feeling. When we exist in these emotions, although I do not believe these feelings are bad, because I see them as segues into something greater, it helps us learn about ourselves, it helps us teach about ourselves, and then when we can catch the revelation, we're able to step into our truth, right? But when we're operating or trying to attract, when we're operating and we're trying to take action, and we feel these really deep emotions and our actions become this derivative of these emotions, it's very hard to create really what we're trying to make in a way that feels good to us when we're feeling shame. It's hard to create a healthy body when you feel shame the whole time. This is why I really try to strip away that feeling for women as they're approaching their healthy habits, because when you have shame present as you're eating the salad and you're crying into the salad and you hate yourself and you hate your life, I would ask, let's find something else for you to eat. You're not going to get the body of your dream as you're putting shame into the equation. When my clients are pushing themselves and hustling hard and really trying to push for this healthy body through exercise, and there's this fear attached, you can tell they just don't want this life anymore, and it's just this anxiousness and this pushing, I see them operating from this lower vibration. And when we create from this space, we end up creating what we feel. The body doesn't stick. They might even get to their goal weight, but it's hard for them to keep it and find joy at the other end of the stick, because when they finally get there, they beat themselves into submission and they never got to practice the feeling of joy, peace, and love. On the journey into creation, on the journey to building your vision, on the journey of leadership and trying to reach hundreds or thousands of people, we want that you feel joyful on that path. And when you're in process of feeling high flying emotions, when you finally get to the thing that you want to have, you can keep it because you got there from the place that allows you to hold that love. When you build with love, you get to keep with love. And this is something that I talk about frequently in my one-on-one coaching. If you'd like more information about that, I'd love to share, because I really believe we do not want to pressure you into a better, healthier place. But when we look at the spectrum, the lower end of the spectrum, I want you to imagine this funnel. At the lower bottom, low frequency spectrums, you've got the feelings of shame, guilt, apathy, grief, fear, desire, and anger. They go up the spectrum in this way. And as they go up the spectrum, those frequencies get higher and higher and higher, closer to a point of attraction, closer to a point of feeling fully connected, safe, and loved within our world, feeling safe and connected with our universe, feeling safe and connected in our being, feeling safe and connected with our environment and the people in our lives. As we slowly climb the ladder of these emotions, there's a point in where we go from the lower frequency emotions up into higher frequency emotions. These higher frequency emotions are things like neutrality, courage, willingness, acceptance, reason, love, joy, peace, and enlightenment. As we ascend this ladder, the idea is that when you get to the top, you're able to feel limitless. You feel like all things are love. You feel like everything is joyful. Present peace is abound. Nothing can really throw you off your rocker. I'm sure you've had those days where you're just like, everything's going my way. And when you feel like life tries to wobble you out of that feeling a little bit, if you stay close to that feeling, you're able to put yourself right back into a nice, healthy place. And it just feels like you're flying. These are the seasons in your life where you feel like you're in flow. Nothing can knock you off. Everything is just working out for you. And I think so many women are trying to pursue this feeling because it's possible. But it's also something that we have to practice. And so when you go up the ladder, there's the line between feeling contracted and tight in your life to feeling expanded, open, receptive, like options are available to you. That difference, the line, the final low emotion before you flip into expanded feelings is the feeling of pride. To go from shame to enlightenment. The recommendation is to slowly shift your emotions up the ladder rather than just jumping up there, expecting yourself to feel happy right now, expecting yourself to feel good. When you feel bad, you want to slowly climb this ladder, to slowly allow yourself to feel better, to slowly give yourself grace and patience to truly get to a place of joy. But in order to transcend this ladder up to the top, you've got to pass through the feeling of pride. Pride on the spectrum is the highest, lowest emotion. It's the highest low frequency that you can feel before you trip into the next one up, which is courage. When you reach courage, you're officially on the side of expansion. You're officially open and available for the world. You're officially ready to explore and experience what life has to offer. You're expanded. When I saw this chart, I was like, oh my gosh, this is perfect, because how did pride make it on this list? If I wanted to move from grief and fear and desire, but I couldn't let myself feel pride, it's going to be hard for me to feel love and joy and peace, truly, at its most pure essence. It'd be hard for me to feel those feelings because I would be in rejection of the other pieces of the spectrum. Pride, when you're feeling down, feels so much better than anything else. Because pride is the moment where you say, well, things feel difficult today. I wasn't as consistent as I wanted to, but guess what? This is what I did. I didn't do what I said I was going to do, but you know what I did do? I sent out those emails, and I'm really proud of myself for that. That's something to be happy about. I didn't walk as far as I wanted to, but I did get outside and the weather was nice, and I can't believe I actually did that. You know what? I am proud of myself for that. The feeling of pride is the feeling of acknowledgement. The feeling of pride is saying, I did that. There are so many powerful female leaders out there right now who will not acknowledge the pieces that they have done. And they're focused on the pieces of the things that they haven't done. Pride is that stair step that when you can say, you know what? Oh, I did it. I did that. When you say, I did that, your brain says, you did. Your spirit says, you did. God says, you did. When you can acknowledge what you've done, you're able to move up the ladder. The next valuable piece on this ladder is courage. When you go from pride, you can step into courage. Because courage is the belief that you can do something. It's based on the feeling of, I can do this again. You know what? I can do this again. I'm able to do this again. I'm ready. I'm ready to go up against this. I'm going to see what I've got. I've done it before. I can do this again. Or if I haven't done it before, I know I've done this thing over here. So let me try this. I'm going to put myself out there. I'm proud of what I've already done. I'm going to put myself out there. The feeling of consistency that I think most people are missing out on is stepping through this portal. Because when we can't be proud, we stay in those lower vibrations of shame and guilt. And I just didn't, I can't believe it. I'm so upset. I'm afraid of doing that. I just don't know what to do. I don't know. When we keep ourselves down, we stay down. But when we step into pride, it's a portal that transports us up the ladder into all of the other emotions, the entire spectrum of feelings that are perfect for creation, attraction, manifestation, elevation, expansion, evolution. It's all founded on your ability to feel proud of yourself. Can you be proud of yourself? That's my question for you today. Can you celebrate yourself? Can you love yourself? Can you honor yourself? Can you see yourself? When you can say, I did that. I did that. Oh my God, I did that. I did that. I did that. That's the beginning of your health. I want you to pay attention to this as you create consistency in your life. As you train consistency up, consistency is something you have to train. You have to train your mind to want to come back again to the action that you've done. And the only way it does that is when there's that little dopamine release that says, ooh, we liked that. You create that feeling by saying, I love this. This is so good. I can't believe I did that. Wow, that was amazing. I love that. I love that. I love that. When you can say, I loved that. I did that. I celebrate myself for that. Let's do it again. That's what your brain will say is, let's do it again. You will slowly build into courage, which will make you neutral, meaning you don't care what happens, you believe. You will creep into love and joy and peace and magnetism. And when you think about being consistent with something, it's going to feel like a no-brainer for you. There is a feeling that is required for consistency. And I want you to practice this feeling of pride. So step into the portal this week. Share your stories. Let me know how this lands for you. Let me know how easy it is for you to step into the feeling. Let me know how it works out for you this week. We're going to meet back together again next week for the finale of this conversation around consistency. And we're going to move into some really good stuff next month. So I look forward to chatting with you ladies again, and I can't wait to hear your stories. I'll see you guys soon. And here's to becoming more active and attractive. Love you guys. Bye.